Hey guys, what's up? Another, of course, the dog needs out as soon as we start our live. But hey, so another week of romance movies.
This has been better than Christmas month,
Okay.
I gotta say. So I have 11 months or 10 months now to complain about the upcoming Christmas month.
It's not that bad. I mean,
It's-
you got Violent Santa.
Some of the worst movies I've ever seen. So
They were recommendations by our viewers.
Our viewers are terrible.
Yeah.
So the romance movies, they're entertaining.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed the recommendations.
We've been watching
so
mostly rom-coms. So rom-coms are a lot of fun. All right, should we just dive in? You ready?
I guess, yeah.
Okay. So and a lot of these were recommended. So we got in a lot of recommended movie this week. And y'all, honestly, Thursday and Friday, I was homesick. So I kind of watched the Twilight marathon. But we'll get there. Okay. So I watched the entire series of Twilight in 2 days. But anyway, first up on our list.
What is it, Rocky?
Jerry Maguire from 1996.
This
was recommended to us by Lisa. Thanks, Lisa. We've seen this one
a long time ago,
probably 1,000 times, but yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Jerry Maguire 1,000 times.
I think that was the third time I've seen.
Okay, there's something wrong with him because it's such a good movie. I think it's probably one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. I know you like him for other movies, but I think he's hilarious in this movie.
Like Cocktail.
No.
And what's that other one? I can't think of the other. Vanilla Sky. And
all right, he's weird. Okay, so Jerry Maguire. Here, go ahead. You tell a little bit about this one.
So this guy is an agent for pro athletes, the football, NFL, and he's a well-known one. But does he have trouble holding on to them?
Well, he worked for an agency and he struggled with getting along with some of the rules and stuff for the agency.
And so he got fired, and it happened to be his friend. And then there was worry that all of his clients would be lost to the business that he was just fired from. And so then it became kind of a competition to try to retain his clients. And so one of his primary ones was played by Cuba Gooding Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the whole story was about.
Yeah, and so he did end up retaining him through the entire movie. And
not without its ups and downs.
Yeah. And because of those ups and downs, and because of the friendship and the bond that they created with each other, being kind of a lone team, the dynamic between the two of them kind of attracted other business, so to say, to Jerry.
Which was really great in the end, because the one athlete who did part from Maguire was saying to his agent, who was Maguire's former agent, why can't we have something like that? Yeah. And the guy tried to lean in and hug him. He just pushed him away.
Because he wasn't that type of guy.
And so I think it's the perfect character for Tom Cruise, because he's got a lot of charisma, is probably the best way to put it. And he does all the emotions really well in whatever character he is cast as.
He does. So what would you rate this one?
I would give it an 8.
I agree. I would give it an 8 as well. It's a good watch. Yeah. It has some language in it, so be careful watching it with little ones. But otherwise, it's good.
What's your favorite part? Do you have a favorite part?
The show me the money part is probably
that is
the all-time favorite.
Yeah, that's my funniest part, and especially when he starts literally yelling into the phone, and everybody in the office is wondering what he's doing.
Show me the money. Okay. The next one up on our list is called Enchanted April.
Riz. Right? He's got Riz. So says
He's got Riz.
Yes, that's how the kids are talking nowadays.
Is that same as fetch?
What's fetch?
I don't know.
And then when you tell dogs, fetch. Sit, Ubu, sit.
Oh man. Okay, Enchanted April from 1991. This was recommended to us by Shannon. So
Darn,
thank
I
you,
missed that
Shannon.
one. Oh
You
no,
watched
I
it?
kind of watched it.
So
I had my eyes open.
It was kind of a slow go.
What are you? Don't stop watching my face.
It wasn't our favorite style. That doesn't mean it's not good. I don't know. I tend to not be drawn to kind of the
This was a British film, wasn't it?
older style movies like this kind. Yeah, it was. It was about this group of women who didn't think they were happy in their relationships and where their relationships were headed. So they decided to take a girls' trip
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
to another city. So they go and they take this girls' trip to this other city and they get bored. And they realize that they need their other half. Their husbands, though they have their share of troubles, kind of complete them. And that they really didn't have the same kind of time without them there. So they ended up calling their husbands to come to this girls' getaway weekend. And so it ended up being a couples retreat, I guess.
Life lessons.
Yeah. So it was a little slow. It was hard for me to kind of follow it. I don't know. Maybe if I watched it again, I would have a little bit easier time. I got the gist of the movie. I got what they were going for. It's probably a little slower than I could handle that night I watched it because I was kind of tired and had kind of other things going on. So a different night where I could really focus on the movie, I think it would have been much better for me. And he was kind of here and there. So he wasn't
Kind of
really
here and there.
paying a whole lot of attention to it. So
Solid,
we probably
right?
didn't give it its just credit for the movie.
The judgment I will give it is would I attempt to try to watch it again? No.
I mean, maybe I would if I was home alone by myself and I didn't have any other distractions. Then I could probably really get into it and get the feel for the movie. But
Yeah, I guess if I had a day to myself at home, I'd probably turn it on.
no, he would turn on a Kill 'Em, hack their
Top
heads
Gun.
off, or a Top Gun or something. Okay, anyway, I would probably give this one a 5
I'll throw it in the middle too.
from someone who didn't even really watch it. So
And either
take
heard
that
it,
as you will.
heard it or praised it. So
Okay. The next one is While You Were Sleeping. This is recommended by a different friend, Shannon. So thanks for recommending. And this is from 1995. So we had a lot of 1990s movies this time, which is fine. They were good.
it's where all good movies took place.
80s and 90s, yeah. So While You Were Sleeping is a Sandra Bullock movie. It's cute. I've seen it several times. I tend to be drawn to this movie around Christmas time because there is a Christmas scene in it. And actually, one of our kids popped up the stairs while we were watching it during the Christmas scene and said, "Why are you guys watching a Christmas movie?" I think it was Ninja Veg 10 there that did that. And we said, it's not really a Christmas movie. It just has Christmas in it. That was, I thought it was you. So this one's a good one. She's kind of in the slow stage of life where she is single and kind of bored with her job. She works as like
I can't remember what she does.
Not a meter, but toll booth worker. So she's kind of working at this toll booth, and one day that she's working, this dreamy guy comes up and talks to her about something. Well, he ends up falling on the tracks, and she goes and rescues him, saves him, so he doesn't get hit by the train. And so the next thing you know, the hospital thinks she's the fiance. The family comes in. They think, okay, this is his fiance. He has amnesia, so he remembers nothing. And it kind of goes through this whole story where she gets to know his family. She ends up falling in love with his brother instead of actually falling for him, who it was a mistake in the first place that she was engaged to him. So she ends up falling for the brother And
place at the wrong time kind of thing.
I mean, she was in the right place in the fact that she saved him,
Oh, yeah.
or
that's
he would
true.
have died. He would have got hit by the train. So she was in the right place at the right time. But then the hospital, the nurse made an assumption
Okay.
rather than finding out the facts.
Yeah.
And let her in to see him, even though it was supposed to only be family in the ICU. And so, anyways,
We all know what happens when you assume.
no assuming. It's a cute movie. I love Sandra Bullock. There's no surprise there. I've said that a million times. So she's just a great actress. I like the dynamic that she has with the different characters in the movie, and kind of how she kind of comes alive as the movie goes on, and she kind of finds herself amongst these crazy people and finds how she fits in. And she so just longs for that family setting, that family feeling. She didn't really have that. Yeah. So I would probably give this one an 8 also.
I'd give it a not applicable.
You've not seen it?
I kind of paid attention.
Oh my, you've never seen this one before?
I don't think so.
There is something 100% wrong with you.
Well, yeah. Adoy.
Such a good movie, you guys. This is like a repeat movie for me. I've watched this movie as many times as I've seen Jerry Maguire, probably. Lots of times. It's good movie.
Okay.
All right. So 8, y'all watch it. All right. The next one is The Cutting Edge from 1992. This was recommended by our friend Jira. So thanks, Jira, for this recommendation. I have also seen this one 1,000 times. It's one of those good ones that I come back to if I want kind of a cutesy rom-com movie.
I've only ever watched it with her.
But more than once.
But more than once.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one, you can talk about this one then.
This is a really great movie where you've got two athletes of extremely different sports. You got the woman, a figure skater, and the guy is a professional hockey player.
Yeah.
And so they cross paths, and the coach sees the hockey player as the appropriate partner for the figure skater.
Because they both have bad attitudes that match each other.
And so he has the resilience to put up with her short temperament.
Her nonsense. So he has the same nonsense. And so he is well equipped to kind of deal with her equally matched nonsense.
So, and if you're not a completely disgusting human being, whenever you're forced into these situations where you have to work with somebody, they end up getting along and they poke fun at each other here and there, but in their own way, they kind of enjoy it. She
slap-shotted a puck right into his eye.
And he didn't hate her.
Actually, no, they got along much better after that. And he kind of was like, all right, she's got a little skill.
So that was kind of the fun part of this movie, is to watch their relationship grow from this forced arrangement.
So with the hockey player, the reason he couldn't continue as hockey is because he took a slap to the face during a game and he lost vision in one of his eyes. So therefore he could never make it to pro hockey.
It's like when Mickey told Rocky he'd never be able to fight anymore. You fight on my eye, fight on my eye.
So anyway, he gets into figure skating then, when that's the only job that he really can find in this skating realm, which is what he loved, just skating. So,
and he did eventually develop the courage to tell his Hockey Town friends that he was a figure skater.
Yeah, it was like 3/4 of the way through the movie, he finally gets the nerve.
Yeah.
But he did. He did tell them, his brother especially, and they were actually really proud of him instead of thinking he was a pansy.
Because
he went for it.
He owned it, and
they went to the Olympics.
Was not ashamed about it, and so I think they respected him a lot for that, and they rooted for him.
Yeah, and so they end up winning what they set out to win in the end, and then she retires, decides that her passions she's completed her goal with her passions, and then they were going to be done. So
really fun movie. I would give it an 8. It is definitely rewatchable.
I agree. 8. It's right up there with all my other 8 movies for today. Okay. The next one is, I don't know why it has a bedazzled picture here, but it's Return to Me
Oh, that's weird.
from 2000.
Oh, this is a really good. Wait. Oh, this is Tuesday. This is
Oh,
Tuesday.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, we're not doing that movies.
So you don't get to hear about that one
Tuesday?
today. You guys get to hear about that on Tuesday. So never mind. All right. So now we're on to the Twilight series. So this is my sick Thursday, Friday watch-a-thon of the Twilight series. And it's actually recommended to us by Lord Gudrold, who logs on quite often. And he's not on today. I think he's passed out downstairs after a lock-in at church. So he actually recommended these to us, wanted us to watch them and review them. So
Really?
yeah. So we went back and we watched all five of the Twilight series. I think you watched a good portion of them.
I've seen them a bunch of times anyway.
Yeah. So of course this is a vampire and human love story. So
It's nothing like Lost Boys. Nothing like 30 Days of Night.
I don't know if he necessarily liked. I think he likes parts of them, but I think he wanted to hear us talk about them
I was
more
always
so than anything.
I was always intrigued by. So she read the books long ago.
I did. The books, you guys, if you haven't read the book, definitely read the books before watching the movies, because I don't know. I think you'll be disappointed if you don't.
And so she would tell me what was happening in these books at the time that she was reading them. And
The books are so good.
I remember her telling me about them sparkling with diamonds. I said, "What kind of vampire is this?"
You never hear that a vampire sparkles in the sun, but Stephanie Meyer, who's the writer of the story,
Yeah.
she brought that to life. And so you kind of get, when you're reading the book, you get this visual of these. I mean, I think she really wanted you to see the beauty in them, that they're supernatural in that they're beyond beautiful. So they're the most beautiful humans imaginable, right?
So that plays into the stereotype, I guess, of the vampire. Supposed to be
attractive.
Supposed to be drawn.
You're drawn to
humans.
them.
Humans are drawn to them, and they're superhuman. They're very lethal. They're eternal, I guess, or they don't die. They can die, but they
only if you rip their heads off and then burn them.
They can go on living if they're not harmed.
So there was a coven of these vampires who were vegetarian vampires. So I relate to that because I'm a vegetarian non-vampire. So it was kind of fun to read a story about vegetarian vampires that only drink the blood of animals instead of
poor
humans. Deer. So
Bambi.
It's kind of a love story between this girl who lived in one place. She decided to move in with her dad because her mom was kind of doing this other thing with her stepdad. And so she moved to Seattle, which of course is the most cloudy place in the whole U.S.
Forks.
Yeah, Forks.
Yeah. Which is kind of the West Coast, northwestern coast of Washington State.
Okay. Yeah. Which we went to Forks.
Only to be disappointed when we found out that
it wasn't actually filmed in Forks.
Yeah, it's filmed.
It was just set up town to look like the actual. Yeah. So, but it was still fun because they set it up like you would see stuff in the movie. So it was still kind of fun to go and live it out.
Very touristy place.
Yeah. But it was fun. Anyway, so the new girl doesn't really click with everybody there. The vampires come in and they kind of introduce them as, they're different. They're all adopted. They're weird kind of thing.
And they're all in relationships.
And she's drawn to them, of course, as happens, but for a different reason. There's a different kind of thing that drew her. So anyway, she falls in love with the one vampire guy. And the between the 5 movies, it kind of plays out their love story. And there's another dynamic between the werewolves that are in it. They're not really werewolves. They're just wolves that protect and keep down the population of vampires. And so she has a friend who's a wolf. And so there's this whole love triangle thing going on between her and Jacob and Edward. And you find out in the end that she was meant for the one and the other one was meant for her daughter. And just like this whole foreseen vision kind of thing that plays out in these 5 movies.
I want to say largely, perhaps the viewers and maybe the readers too were rooting for the vampire and Bella.
Yeah.
More so than the relationship between Jacob and Bella, I think. At
And-
least that's how I felt. I wanted Edward to. I wanted the vampire.
Yeah, the attraction between Edward and Bella were definitely more dynamic than the attraction between she and Jacob. She and Jacob just kind of seemed like a best friend. You know, we've known each other forever.
It seemed like the one that
kind
made
of thing.
more sense, though. It was the.
But
it would
they
have been
never
the-
go for the ones that make more sense.
It would have been the practical relationship.
They go for the ones that are harder.
Yeah.
And Edward was the harder option.
I have never seen Kristen Stewart in any other movies, and she plays good awkward.
She does play good awkward, but I think because this was kind of one of her first big hit films, she wasn't a great actress, to be honest. And the more
Was it intentional or was she just bad?
no, I think the first one for sure, she was just kind of bad. I don't know. I think it got better as they went through the movies,
Mhm.
but I think the first one, she needed some brushing up on the whole acting thing.
Very, very
After that,
awkward
it was not as awkward.
scenes.
That's
That's
really
true.
awkward. And I think the more I go back and watch them, the more I'm like, oh, that is just awkward.
So either the character developer or the actress developer, a combination of the two.
But you don't get that impression in reading the books. That's why I say, you guys, read the books first, because so much better. And I think the story will play out for you so much more heartfelt.
And for me, not having read the books, the last movie was a nice twist ending for me.
There's some twists.
We'll leave it at that
turns.
if you want to watch all 10 movies.
5.
5.
And yes, definitely I would recommend doing so. So Twilight's the first one, then New Moon, then Eclipse, then Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Breaking Dawn Part 2. So that goes from 2008 until 2012. All right, so that's the year that plays out. All right, so overall, what would you rate the Twilight series?
7.5.
Oh, I don't know. It's a favorite of mine. I give it an 8.5.
Okay. I mean, I enjoy watching it every time it's on the tube.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it, Twilight series. All right, the next one is Togo, recommended by Gloria. Thank you,
Oh,
Gloria,
yeah, I
for
wish-
giving this recommendation.
I'll have to watch this
We-
one more.
Absolutely loved this movie. The girls sat and watched it with me, and we loved it. It was so good. Basically, it was about, I forget what year. This is from 2019. Let me see if I can find the deets on, 1925. So this was kind of set in 1925 when diphtheria was the disease of the day, and it was taking people down left and right, kids. It was really destructive. So in Alaska, they went and did, in these remote towns, there's nothing close by. There's not really great medical care. There's no large hospital facilities. And I mean, 1925, things were lacking anyway. So they would have to do these big hundreds of mile runs with the dog sleds to get to a place where they could get this serum to take it back to save these kids and these people who were getting this disease that was killing them off. So they kind of called it the races, the serum races. So this was about a man and his crew of dogs that he bred that went off and did this race. And he ended up doing the race himself to go get this serum. And he brought back 25 doses of the serum, which by the time he made the distance and made the distance back, they needed way more serum than that. So they ended up having to do a second run. But it kind of is a highlight of his dog, his lead dog, and kind of the story on how the dog came to live with them and came to be part of the pack. It was not the intent at first. He was not bred to be the leader of the pack. He actually was at first hated by the sled driver because he was annoying.
Sounded a lot like the way I see animals as when the dog first came into the picture.
But the wife saw something in the dog and saw that he was capable of so much more than the sleigh driver was giving him credit for. So she kind of encouraged him to hang on. Well, he ended up falling in love with the dog and realizing that the dog was going to go with him no matter what. And that the dog, not only did he love leading the other dogs, he loved the sleigh driver, and he would give everything, including his own life, to further the sleigh driver, and kind of that bond between the two of them. And so this dog kind of was instrumental in getting the serums back, and it kind of was their journey on this race and what they went through and how many times they should have died on the way in doing this race. But they did end up making it back. The dog was very sick and injured on their return. So there was, that was kind of the beginning of his demise with that long race. But
yeah, the cold, bitter Arctic is, a really, really tough place. So the fact that they did these kinds of things is truly, truly heroic.
Yeah,
pretty amazing. I would love to. I was doing some other things, even left the house, I think, and so I would rate it an 8.5, probably just based on what I saw.
Yeah.
But I would love the chance to just watch it all the way through.
I would agree. 8.5 is probably what I would rate it also. And if you've seen the movie Balto, this is kind of down the same lines. And actually, Balto was mentioned in this. He helped on the second race for the serum. So remember, I said there was 2 because it wasn't enough serum from the first one that Togo was the leader on. And so Balto led in the second race. And so Balto actually at the time got more recognition than Togo. Togo kind of came in silently and didn't really get the recognition he deserved. Now, however, they've put up statues in honor of Togo.
And they showed
in New York City, I think it said.
Mm-hmm. And they showed a picture of the sled driver and Togo, a real picture. And Willem Dafoe looks a lot like him.
And that's who played the sled
crazy
driver. Yeah, the main lead for this one. So great movie. Like we said, 8.5. It was awesome. Good, clean family film.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
You could watch it. I mean, it's on Disney, so you can watch it with the whole family. It's good. It's good. I like these based on true stories kind of movies that I can watch with my girls. So definitely would recommend this one. It's very, very good.
To go.
So the love story, the romance in this one is not really a romance as much as a love between a man and his
companion
and his dog and his, what was meant to be a working dog. But the love and the bond that kind of grew between them was beautiful.
Yep.
So that was Togo. Let's see what's next. 2 more. So we kind of picked one on a whim last night because it had a whole lot of big names in it. It was called Valentine's Day from 2010. So, I mean, y'all, listen to this. Listen to these names.
They kept popping up on
Julia
the screen.
Roberts, Jamie Foxx, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Alba, Kathy Bates, Jessica Biel, Bradley Cooper, Eric Dane, Patrick Dempsey. So if you don't know, that's McSteamy and McDreamy. Hector Elizondo, Jennifer Garner, Topher Grace, Carter Jenkins, Ashton Kutcher, Queen Latifah, Taylor Lautner, George Lopez, Shirley MacLaine, Emma Roberts, and Taylor Swift. Y'all, there were some big names in there. Some of it was cheesy. It was kind of this big love triangle kind of thing. So-and-so liked so-and-so, but so-and-so liked so-and-so, and that so-and-so liked this so-and-so who was cheating on that so-and-so.
It was a love pentagon.
It was like, it was crazy. So it was a lot of following and seeing how all of these people are kind of intertwined and interconnected into each other's lives. And
Kind of reminds me of that movie, What to Expect When You're Expecting. They follow a few different
yeah,
couples,
I
don't
guess
they?
so. And they're all
But
kind of interconnected, but a
there's
little
double
different. Yeah.
double the stories compared to that movie.
Oh my word. So many big names. And
So I think
some of the parts were really, really cheesy. Like Taylor Swift and Taylor Lautner's parts were stupid cheesy.
Taylor Swift is just weird.
She was weird in this movie. Completely weird. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan. Sorry, Caitlin, if you're watching. I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan. She kind of annoys me.
Oh,
And
Taylor Swift.
after watching this movie, she stupidly annoyed me. I don't want to see anything with her name on it for a while after watching this. It was so over the top cheesy, her acting. So
I think for as many stories that they had weaving in and out of this movie, they did a decent job balancing everybody's part.
And it was fun to watch. There were some parts that I was like, what is going on right now? Why is this person with this person? And why are they doing this? And so there was a lot of questions being asked as we went along, but it was all explained in the end, and I got my closure.
I think my favorite character was Ashton Kutcher's character.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah,
he
played
owned,
a good. He and Jennifer Garner.
Yep,
I liked their two characters.
Two of our favorites.
Yeah, so it was good though. I did not like McDreamy's character. He was a two-time.
Oh man, Renning had two families.
Two families. I'm going on business travel. Going to the other family.
Yeah, man, you just saw him as absolute trash 5 minutes into the film.
Yeah. So you start out in the movie not liking him or his character. And he doesn't really turn it around at the end. He ends up getting his just dessert, but
I want dessert.
I know. Dessert sounds really good, right? Okay, so we might be having dessert after this.
I have cookies.
Okay. Anyway. So what would you rate Valentine's Day?
6.5.
Oh, you're gracious. I would give it a 6.
I'll probably do it a 5.
Too late. You already gave it a 6.5.
Peer pressure. The movie really sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst thing we've seen this year, but would I watch it again? No, absolutely not. I would not.
I would not either.
No.
Yeah, unless I had a date on myself.
Then you'd watch Maverick. Okay. Last one. The last one. It was kind of late after Valentine's Day, but I had some stuff I was still finishing up. So I was like, yeah, why not? I'll throw this one on. Monster-in-Law. So Monster-in-Law from 2005. It has J-Lo in it. I've seen this one, again, 1,000 times. It's a funny one. It's got a mother-in-law who's a little off her rocker. She's a little insane. She
so insane that she has an assistant to help her keep her sanity, or from harming others.
From harming others. I was going to say she doesn't keep her sanity.
Yeah.
She ends up going to a nut house because she went off the rails on a Britney Spears lookalike and beat her up
on TV,
right? On public TV.
It was on
so
TV.
She goes to a nut house for a while. She got released, and it's kind of, she realizes her son is in this relationship with this woman she had never met, and it kind of was moving fast, and he was engaged. Like, all of this stuff just hits her, and she does not take things well. She doesn't take change well. And you kind of see how she goes overboard on J-Lo.
She likes to take control, and if somebody doesn't agree with her, then it really triggers her.
And most of the time, people would not put up with her and just walk away. But J-Lo was up for the challenge, and she kind of got her back. She did some good retaliation tactics. And actually, Lord Gadrold came up and watched half of the movie with us and chuckled and thought it was funny. So
and the assistant, I think, gave her respect because she was willing to stand up to the monster-in-law.
Yeah. So in the end, J-Lo gets her man, and she no longer has an insane monster-in-law. So give that one a watch. It's good. It's cute. I give it an 8, just like my other 1,000 times that I've watched them movies.
I'll probably give it a 7.5 or 7. Yeah.
There you go. So check those out, you guys. Thank you, friends, for those recommendations that you gave us this week. We have a few more to watch out this week.
Almost done, guys.
One more week. One more week.
What's the next?
You always ask that, and it's not time. Next week, we will reveal what the following month will be.
Movies that begin with 300.
No. No, babe. Sorry, not happening. All right, so throw your suggestions out there if you want us to give you a shout out for suggestions for romance, love, any of that kind of movie. And like you saw from Togo, it doesn't have to be moochy, romancy, lovey kind of stuff. It can be, how a relationship develops between this and that. So it can be between an animal and a human. It can be any of those sort of things. So,
you know what? So with love triangles and love pentagons, we should watch Phantom of the Opera.
Good one.
Has anybody recommended that? Come on, viewers.
So, you might hear about that one this week because that one is 1,000 times I've seen it kind of movie. I could recite 75% of that movie.
I give it a 9.5.
Well, we gotta watch it first.
Oh.
Well, there you have it, Phantom of the Opera.
We'll watch it for the 97th time to give a fair review.
Maybe we should watch it live and you can hear me recite 75% of the movie. Or is that annoying to people? I don't know. Maybe that's annoying to people.
I'll sing.
No.
I'll sing.
You don't want him to do that.
I thought you were reading something and then you were just laughing at me.
Yes. All right, y'all. So check out our Tuesday movie. We already gave you the name. If you didn't hear it, you got to go back and listen. But check out Tuesday. And then, of course, our Friday faves. And we'll catch you next Sunday. Same time, same place, 9:30.
See you next time.
Bye.
Do we have to hit the end stream button?
Why do you do that?
And...
All right, let's do our recording.